everyone, it's me, Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. I hope you're having a lovely day. Just checking that everything is working, particularly after yesterday's interesting late afternoon YouTube live. Right, looks like everything's working. There, I've got chat, which is just heavenly. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Liz Yuille. I work as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, working across the UK, France, Germany, Austria and the Netherlands. It is my job. So, if you wish to purchase anything and you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, I would be thrilled if you would shop with me. The link is in the description bar below this video. Enika, hello, I've got your email and I need to reply. But I've been a little busy, but I will reply later today. Hello, Judith from a sunny Pevensey. Hello, Nora. Yes, it's sunny here today and I've got a dress on because it's likely to be warm. So, yes, it's dress time. So, I hope everyone is well. Things that I can tell you. Right, so we have the in-colour joining kit at the moment, which means you get an extra £60, just over, of in-colour items, which is the grid paper, the ink pad bundle, the designer series paper and the mixed pack of coloured card. Currently, the ink pads are not available. Because one of them is out of stock, so the bundle is not available. However, that won't stop you being able to order your starter kit. The starter kit is the one thing that you can do a back order on for that item, for the ink pad bundle item. So don't worry if you wish to join, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in Europe. I can't say wherever you are in the world because I don't know whether the ink pads are out of stock anywhere else in the world, but if you're in Europe, wherever you are and you want to use that joining offer, you will still be able to do it even though the ink pads are currently out of stock, just so you know. Thank you, Enika. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Pam. I'm glad the weather's nice with you today. Yes, it's lovely here, and I have a cup of tea because I have a dry throat, so I have got my cup of tea. So, anything else I need to tell you? I don't think so. We had a really short, every Tuesday morning we get a weekly update as demonstrators. The update this week was so short. One item and previously announced. So, yes. However, saying that, I always do a Facebook Live for my team on anything I hear through the leaders groups. Just to put some padding around the weekly update. Bearing in mind there was one thing to say, it was probably one of my longer weekly updates. Anyway, enough of that. We are using the Fresh Cut Flowers stamp set today. I've even put all the stickies on the back, which is something I always tell myself every time I use a new stamp set that's red rubber, I have to put the stickies on the back of all of the stamps. Sometimes I do it, not always. Morning, Jan from Sunny Weekly. I know it's lovely here today. They say we're going to get a high of about 23 degrees, which for May in the UK is not bad. Right, I'm going to flip down so that we can see the work surface and me, which may or may not be a good thing. I'm going to have a slug of tea and then we'll get started. It's the same tea as I was having, not saying mug, obviously, of tea, I mean. It's the same flavour of tea that I was having yesterday evening. So it's banana fritter, which is gorgeous. It is like a banana fritter. Hello, Margaret. How are you? Morning, Sherry from a chilly Ontario. Ooh, sorry, it's cold. I mean, you are quite far north. So I suppose I'm not actually that surprised, but, you know. So I just need to make sure I was waiting for something. Nope, that's fine. That is fine. Right, I'm going to ignore my phone now. So I have already cut bits ready to go. I am using, as I say, the Fresh Cut Flowers stamp set. It doesn't have dies, but don't worry, I'm not fussy cutting today. It doesn't have dies and it doesn't have any sentiments, so you can use your own sentiments, or you can of course use the charming sentiments and the matching, now I can't remember what they're called, I think they begin with S. Are they sentimental sentiments? Something like that. Sentiment silhouettes, matching dies. So I'll get those out just in case. I don't know that I'm going to use a sentiment on either of the cards other than inside, so who knows. I've got some of the Tea Boutique paper, and I'm using the B side, and this is Petal Pink. I've got a Petal Pink matte. Measurements when I get round to putting it on the website will be on the website. High today here is 28 degrees, Inika. Wow! Wonderful. Yes, barbecue time. Apparently Spain is likely to beat its May temperature record, which may be a little warm for me. It's 40-something degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, so Petal Pink on a white card base, and I've got this piece of vellum, which is smaller again. And as I say, I'll put the measurements for both International A4 metric and imperial, as well as North American letter cardstock. I'm going to heat emboss in, I was going to say white, but actually I mean gold for this one, because I've got a second card which we will be using white. Heat embossing on vellum, you do have to be slightly careful, because although this vellum is very good, this is the vellum cardstock, you do get vellum in the layering vellums as well. It's a thinner weight, and quite a lot of the sheets in there are plain. I have mentioned that before. You need to read the catalogue. They're not all patterned. So I'm inking my stamp with Versamark, making sure it's got good coverage. What you do not want to do is over ink and then rock your block, because otherwise you will get a halo. It's not quite so bad when you're doing Versamark and embossing, because you can brush it off, right? I just want to try and get reasonably central. Good morning, Claire. So for those of you who weren't around yesterday afternoon, I have now posted in Colour Club Waves of the Ocean class product share, and for those of you on my team, the team gifts for anniversaries and top performers. They have all gone out. I don't think I'm due to send anything out now for a while, other than I do need to email out the instructions for the Wave of the Ocean class, which I am hoping to get done either today or early tomorrow. I think I said that already. Anyway, so this is gold embossing powder. I just want to make sure that I'm, yep. So I'm just going to dip this into my, so one of the, I'm doing the virtual incentive trip at the moment, and one of the perks of doing that is that you get to see the next mini. I mean, for crying out loud, we've only just launched the new annual, but the next mini ahead of everybody else. Let's just say, gorgeous. And there are some interesting tools, one of which is perfect for heat embossing. Just saying. Just saying. It's already going to be on my wish list. Right, I'm just going to give this a flick from behind. There is one little bit that is annoying me. Where is my take your pick? Where is my take your pick? I thought I put, oh, it's there. I was going to say I thought I'd put it away. I hadn't. One of the things you can do with this sticky end of your take your pick is pick up stray bits of embossing powder. Not many people know that, but you can. Right, trusty cheese board time. Actually, I'm going to change of mind. I'm in one of those moods. My brain's not working. I'm going to be doing heat embossing on the second card, so I thought I might as well do that at the same time while my heat gun is hot. So this time I got one of the smaller images of the flowers, and I'm going to heat emboss in white. Morning, Shaz. Jan has got in colour parcel and gift. Excellent. Glad those have arrived. So yes, Jan is in my in colour club. I may do a second launch of the in colour club. I will certainly be doing a second launch of the product share. I just need to get over the stress of doing it once, because it's quite a lot of work. Both of them are quite, well, the in colour club's not a lot of work. The product share is quite a lot of work. It's the ribbon. Fortunately, there weren't too many new ribbons this catalogue. Right, so this is white embossing powder, and I have, this is a wonderful example of what not to do with your stamp. Let me just grab the zoom. So, actually I need to put a dark colour like my hand behind that, but let me zoom, there we are. That is what not to do with your stamp. So I need to get rid of that excess. This time I'm going to use a brush, just a dry brush, and I can sweep that away. And let's just do a quick tap first, and then I can sweep away all this excess embossing powder. So this is A, I over inked my stamp, and B, I rocked my stamp when I stamped it. Morning, B. Morning, Jan from South Florida. How is the weather with you? I bet it's nice. Although, is it humid in May? Maybe not. Right, so that is now clear. We only have embossing powder where we want embossing powder. Let me get rid of those, as they take up quite a lot of space. Now I'm going to get my cheese board out. It just means that I only have to heat my gun up once. Let's tuck that under there. Heat my gun up. I'm going to pop this slightly further away so I don't dry it out and blow powder. So always heat your heat gun before you use it, and especially with vellum, be quick. So you want to go into one area, and as soon as it starts melting, move it. So as soon as you see it going glossy, move it, because you do not want to burn your vellum. That's that one done. Let's bring in the other one. And I've just spotted something I don't like the look of. Now this is going really quickly because everything is now very warm. So as soon as you see it melting, move your heat gun so it's not in the same place for too long. Just a bit in the middle there. Right. Excellent. Though I say so, who shouldn't? Right, so that is all heat gunned. So we've got nice glossy white and nice glossy gold. Now, let's pop that away. I'll pop the white one to one side. That's cool. You need to make sure that your heat embossing is cool before you do anything to it. Touching it with your thumb is not the best idea because you could smudge it. I'm now going to turn it over, and I'm going to use some slightly strange colours to get the look that I want. I want this to look like petal pink and Parakeet Party. But morning Gwen, using Petal Pink and Parakeet Party on the back of Vellum doesn't show on the front. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral and Granny Apple Green, and I may use a bit of dark Daffodil Delight for the centre of the flowers, particularly on the other one. But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my Calypso Coral, and I'm going to add Calypso Coral. Now the joy of this is that you can go over the lines and they're not going to smudge because you're working on the back of your vellum. So I'm going to add some dark behind the stamens because they'll be in shadow, and then lower down the petals I'm going to have some dark as well. Let's add some definition along the way. I will put I've got a scrap of vellum which I'll show you what Petal Pink and Parakeet Party look like once you've layered them, and I think you'll agree that it doesn't really work. Right, so that's all of the big flower. So I can then come in with my brush end. To begin with, just to get a layer down, and then I may need to come back in with my dark because this may still not be dark enough. In fact, the bullet tip is giving me more colour than the brush tip. So let me show you what this is going to look like. Yeah, I'm going to have to put do more dark, but can you see that that's beginning? Actually, no, that's all right. I'm quite happy with it the way it is. I may have to add some more dark, but I don't think I want any more dark on there. But if I bring in, this was my trial piece, let me get rid of that. So if I bring in Petal Pink, so this is Petal Pink Dark, and if I pop this on, if I can pick it up, if I put this face down, so with the ink down, you can hardly see it, whereas with this you can see that there's colour. So if you're wanting to do this technique, have a look at colours that are the same kind of tone but darker, and Calypso Coral, both Calypso Coral and Petal Pink have that orange tinge to them, so they are quite a good substitute for Petal Pink if you want it to be, you know, on the reverse. And doing this, because it's heat embossed on the front, means that, as I say, you don't have to worry too much about your lines. And if you use alcohol markers on the front of heat embossing, you will melt the heat embossing. You can reheat it to make it go shiny again, but it leaves a kind of dirty residue on your alcohol markers, which is not a good look. So I would urge you to, if you're going to do this, do it on the reverse. Alternatively, though not that easy on vellum, but if you were doing this on card, you could stamp in something like really stamped off Petal Pink, do your colouring, and then stamp again with Versamark. And to do that, you'd need to leave your stamped image in the Stamparatus, and that would then give you that nice embossed, heat embossed look without damaging your markers. Now you can layer up, which is what I'm doing. You can layer up the ink, but you do need to make sure that the first layer is dry before you add the second layer, otherwise it would not do anything. Right, so that's the flowers. She says spotting something else. Well, I'm basically going to do the same idea with the leaves. So anywhere where I want it a bit darker, I'm going to add dark granny apple green. And I will show you what Parakeet Party looks like on vellum in a moment. So just do this and then I'll show you that. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, how's that working? That's the stem of the flower and that's the stem of the leaves, I think. Or is that? No, actually that's the whole stem. Right, so we need the stem here to be dark for the flower. And here. And there. Morning, Joanna. Oh, missed those. Right, so while that's drying, let me show you Parakeet Party. So, nice bright Parakeet Party. This is the light. This is the dark. And they do look lovely on vellum, but they do... Morning, Karen from New Hampshire. So, that's what they look like the right way up. Turn them over and they fade back a lot. So that's the front, or where the ink isn't, and that's where the ink is. So just that extra bit of vellum between the colours turns it more yellow. And if we use granny apple green, so this is the granny apple green dark, granny apple green light. Oops. That's the side that I've added the ink to, and that's the side, that's the back. And it's a much, much darker colour. It's easier to see and less acid. Oh no, Inika, that's not good. Morning, Margaret. Margaret is a new team member. She's taken advantage of the starter kit. Yay! She managed to get all the in-colour inks without it going on back order, but she was very open with me. She said she just wanted to take advantage of the offer, which is absolutely... Oh, that's dark. I thought it was light, which is absolutely fine. So I'm thrilled that she has joined us. So Inika, long COVID, not great. So off to bed again. See you later. Watch you on the replay. Yeah, you need to, if you've got long COVID, you need to take life gently. Even if you had just ordinary COVID. Bear in mind, I've had it twice. I know of what I speak. If you've had COVID, you do need to take it gently for a few weeks afterwards. And I know I've said this before, but when hubby and I had it back in February last year, I was still getting over it when he came down with it. I actually took longer to get over it than he did because I kind of had to go into looking after husband mode. So it did take me a lot longer to get over it than it did him. And he was a lot iller with it than I was initially. So yeah, you do need to treat yourself kindly. But I hope you get better very quickly, Inika. Right, so that's all the colouring I want to do on this one. So that's what it will look like when we're finished. So now I am going to add some adhesive to the back of my vellum. And I'm actually going to use glue dots to begin with. And I'm going to put them, just had a delivery. I'm going to put them onto where the stamen are, because those are pretty solid areas of embossing. So it's a good place to hide your adhesive. And glue dots are kind of controllable. You know how big they are. So I think that may be all I need. I might just put a little bit of adhesive down at the bottom here behind the stem. Just a couple of little dots. Don't need much. I'll bring it up in a minute so you can see. Let me put one just up the top there. So where you've got a reasonably solid bit of heat embossing, you can just add tiny dots of liquid adhesive. And I shall do one on the tip of that as well. Right, so thank you, Shaz and Gwen. Now, I'm going to pop my dots in place, and then that's what we've got, and you can see that you can't see the glue dots. Now I'm going to pop this to one side with the block on top so it can flatten, and then we'll finish the card. And in the meantime, let me bring out my second version, which is this. So this is going to have ribbon here, and it's just going to go on the back of the card or on the front of the card, but I'm going to create a pattern on my card base. So this is just an old shipping thing, and I'm going to pull out the solid image with fresh freesia. Now I'm going to test this out in the middle of my card, because this is going to go in the middle like that. So I know that if I stamp here, it's going to be hidden, but it means I can try out what full strength looks like. Hi, Jenny. So that's full strength. I might want, well, that's full strength with nothing left on the ink pad. So I'm going to try, let's see. I'm going to do second generation, but quick second generation, not, and by quick I mean I'm not going to take a long time to stamp off. Now the key with creating a background is to intentionally go off your paper, because pattern paper doesn't just stop at the edge, it keeps going, and I'll show you what I mean by that momentarily. So let's leave that there for a moment. So the pattern goes, oops, there you are, the pattern goes off the paper, it doesn't stop, it keeps going. That's what we want to recreate when we're doing a background ourselves. So I've got another couple of bits around here, and then I'm going to go off the top. Like that. So we've got full pattern on our card with this bit in the middle that's going to be covered. So we don't worry about that because it's going to be covered. Right, don't need that ink pad anymore. Don't need that anymore either. Oh, that can go in the bin, it's filthy. Right, okay, so again I'm going to colour these from the back. This time I'm using Highland Heather because it's darker than Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to, but it's the same tone. And again, I'm going to do some dark first, and then I'll just come in with a little bit of the light on these. That's the only real flower. And then I'll do some dark Daffodil Delight in the middle. And dark leaves. Again, I'm going browny apple green. Now the seed heads, there is crumb cake in the paper. So let's see if crumb cake is going to be dark enough for those seed heads. Crumb cake. So this is crumb cake dark. Where's my little scrap gone? No? Oh, there it is. So crumb cake dark. And if I pop that over my paper, it's fine that side. It's not too bad that side. Let's have a look at what soft suede would look like. This is light soft suede. Yeah, you see, I think that might be better. So that's, although it's a bit yellow. I wonder, no, that's going to be yellow as well. Ooh, I wonder. So this is SU100. No, that's going to be too dark. Let's have a look at SU200. These are the naturals. Oh, I like that. I'm going to go for SU200. So this is one of the new flesh colours. And I'm going to do, because there's not a huge amount of it going to show through, because it's quite a solid image. But I think that will look rather nice. Yes, like that. And you can just colour right over the back. And so long as you don't go over the white line, you can go, I'll rephrase that, so long as you don't go right over the white line, cross the white line, you'll be fine. So you can colour over the white line but not cross the white line. And then we've just got to add the, let's put that away. So we've just got to add light Highland Heather. This one will be done, but I'll need it to dry. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue dots behind these seed heads and possibly down here a bit. So let's waft. I want that way up. But I do need this to be dry because alcohol's very good at not allowing things to stick. And because I'm covering lots of the seed head, even if it does show, it's not going to matter because it's going to look solid. If I could get the glue dot to unglue. Hello Carol, you're never late. Hello Candy. Hello Leslie from Sydney. No one is ever late because there is that wonderful thing called replay. So I don't think anyone's ever late. Right, so that's those. Now a little bit of liquid adhesive just towards the bottom here. And as I said earlier, for those of you who were here earlier, I am going to add some ribbon. So I'm not too worried. Actually, I might just go right there. Come on, just a little dot, that's all I want. Thank you. And just there. Right. Okay. So let's pick this up, and again, it's going to go into the middle of my paper, like that. press down the glue dots, which will adhere pretty instantly, and then I'm going to pop this one to one side with the block over the top while we finish off this card that isn't going on that, let it be said. Right. Okay, so all we've got to do to finish this one off is adhere this to this. So I'm going to actually add my adhesive to my card rather than the paper, just so I don't ruck the vellum. Not that I think I would ruck the vellum, but just in case. And it also means I'm holding something dry and attaching it to something sticky, which is a much happier place for me to be. Much happier place for me to be. Like that. Yep. Press, and then I'm thinking I might pop that up, but I've got other things going through my head as well, because we've got lovely new embellishments. I'm not sure what colour those are. Solid faceted gems. Let's have a look and see if they're Petal Pink or Blushing Bride. Because if they're Blushing Bride, they're going to look horrible as soon as I get them anywhere near the Petal Pink. Because Blushing Bride is a blue pink. So let's have a look. Petal Pink. Excellent. In fact, let's read the colours so that you know all of the colours. They are, let me open the packet so you can see them all. We have Mossy Meadow, Pool Party, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Night of Navy, and Balmy Blue. I would say that that's probably near a Starry Sky, but that's just me. That's Night of Navy. I think they're closer to Starry Sky, but I don't care, they're still really nice. Right, so those are on page 142 of your song sheet. But I think I'm going to add some of those Petal Pink ones to, and these are the Heart Pearls, which are also new. Oh, except the other alternative I've got, because they're still viable, still feeling on the meds. Oh, Shaz said she was feeling a little bit better today. These are still in the catalogue, so because they're in the mini, I may go that way actually. Having said I'm going to use these, I'm going to continue with my using up the polished dots. So what it means I can do is stick corners down. Just think a little outside the box, and it also means that if you need to add more adhesive somewhere, you can pop that underneath your dot. So I'm just going to do that, but as I say, if you wanted to add more adhesive, you could pop it under the dot and it would hide it nicely under the vellum. So that's that, and liquid adhesive. Scribble of liquid adhesive, pop that down. Flat, press from behind, and what I might do, I'm going to clean that stamp, as I haven't used my stamp cleaner today. I'm just going to spray, drop a dimensional backing apparently, so spray some cleaner onto the wet side of my scrub. And scrub. I've become a real convert again to my stamp and scrub. I do like my chamois, but this, it's a game changer when it comes to getting things really clean. So I just need another another piece of shipping or shipping notice, because what I'm going to do is grab Petal Pink and just add down in the bottom here Petal Pink once and twice. Oh, not that you can see the second time. Let's ink it up again and do a second. So we've got just a little bit down in the bottom corner. I've decorated the inside of a card. Woo! Those of you who watch me regularly know that I generally do, just not on camera, because I'm putting a liner in. I like to leave the decoration until I've written, so that I don't make a mess. Just got to have some more tea. Right. Fresh freesia ribbon. So that's our finished card. Let's do our second finished card. Or let's finish our second card. So I've got my piece of vellum on my piece of Tea Boutique paper. This is ready to take it, but first of all I'm going to add ribbon. And yeah, I think about there. So this is where your grid paper is just perfect. So line up your edge on your grid paper. Seal Plus is my favourite adhesive for ribbon. I must do another, which adhesive do I use for what top tip? If I'm clever, I'll film both my top tips today. So I can do one for today, which hasn't been done yet, and one for next week, and then I'll be a week ahead. Woo! Right. Oh no, you had a dip yesterday. No! No! Hello, Helen from Michigan. That's not good. Don't like it when you have a dip, but I mean, I think dips are almost inevitable. Particularly, don't do too much too soon. It's always my... I'll go back one. I had the joys, and I'm being silly about this, obviously. I had the joys of shingles some years back. Possibly didn't want to put quite that much adhesive on there, but never mind. Only because I want to pop this up. So yes, a few years back, before we moved up here, in fact, I think it was before I was diagnosed with cancer, I had shingles. And in fact, it was definitely before I was diagnosed with cancer, because I remember which house we were in now, or which office I was in rather. And I ended up going back to work too soon. So having been off work for about 5 weeks, I mean, I was really not well with shingles. I went back too soon and was off work for another 6 weeks. And my then doctor prescribed shopping trips, which was lovely. You know, you always feel guilty when you're off work because you think you should be going back into work. At least I always did. And so if I was feeling okay at home, I'd think, well, that's all right, I feel okay, I'll go back into work. Now, I, at that point, worked about an hour from home, and I would drive to get to the office. And I wasn't feeling that much better. I thought I was when I was at home, but when I got into the office, it was absolutely evident that I actually wasn't. And I'd gone back too soon. So then had a relapse. And my doctor said to me, and she said, you should use this all the time. I'm putting extra dimensionals here because I put too much Seal Plus. And I don't want this to dip and then be attached by my Seal Plus. She said you should never go back to work or go back to your usual routine until you can go on a shopping trip and not spend the other half of the day recuperating from the shopping trip, which actually makes perfect sense because shopping's not stressful like work is. So yes, if you can't do something that isn't stressful without spending half a day recovering, you shouldn't be going back to work either. So never push yourself too quickly. Lots of reading, Shaz. Good. Oh, Lorne went back too soon after labyrinthitis. Yep, had that as well. Which gives you vertigo. I know it all too well. Nearly fell into a patient's bed. Not good. Not good. Yeah, I remember when I got labyrinthitis. Oh, awful. I literally remember the moment it happened. And it was during a fire drill at work, and I was walking down 5 flights of stairs, and suddenly I felt really dizzy. I described it as if you were walking with one foot in a ditch and the ditch was full of foam rubber. It's very odd. Yeah, don't push too quickly, Shaz. Not good. So I'm going slightly up on this because this is a long thin rather than a short fat. Actually, no, I'm going to go in the middle. Change of plan. Right. Okay, so I think I am actually going to add. So things like labyrinthitis and shingles are, and to a degree cancer, are stress related. So just bear that in mind. Get stress out of your life. So I'm just adding a knot, a knot there, and then just trim my ends. 1, 2, but I'm also going to use what could be my new favourite embellishment, if I can find it. The new 2021-23 in colour opals. Love them! Your paper shares arrived. Yay! Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Joanna says, absolutely, I was the same when I had shingles and when I had my spinal injury. Off work for 6 months, went back to work too soon. Yeah, you just don't want to go back too soon. Like being on a raft in a high swell. Absolutely, Lorna. Vertigo is just awful. Or labyrinthitis, as you say, it brings on vertigo. Aren't these just gorgeous? Let me see if I can zoom in. I mean, they are just heaven. I like the opal rounds, but the opal rounds in the in colours. They're like sorbet. Or actually probably nearer to gelato. Not gelato, I don't mean that. What's the very granular sorbet? 2 kittens in the house with gastro. Oh, lovely. That'll be pleasant. Really not a good look, I would suggest. Right, so I'm going to have a little one there. I'm being conscious of the fact that at the moment this card is not a large letter card. The moment I put one of these on top, it will become a large letter card. So, yeah, it's going to become a large letter card because I want to use these again to help stick down my vellum. So I've got 1 down here by the ribbon, 2, 3. But they are gorgeous. The soft succulent it's like, I think you could use that with pool party. Or maybe mint macaron, but they're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Anywho, right, I am going to do an inside as well. Woo! Twice in one day. Ooh, come on. So I've got an inside ready, and I've got a stamp I haven't used, so let's use them all. Granita, that's it. Perfect, yes. Yeah, 11-week-olds and gas is not fun. Not good. Oh, thank you, Nora. Right, and fresh freesia I have out, so let's use it. And just want a scrappity scrap because I am going to come off the bottom. I've over inked it again. Anyway, so I'm going to go 1, 2. So I've got a very slight shadow there. And pop that back underneath and then attach this with seal. That's the word I didn't say. I'm attaching this with seal. Hello, Annette. You're very welcome. Well, I love heat embossing on vellum and then colouring with alcohol markers. It's just wonderful. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Joanna. And Lorna. So there we are. Those are our 2 cards. Now, this is the same paper, the same stamp set, the same technique, but I think we've ended up with 2 quite different feeling cards. This one's fun. This one's very much more elegant. So yeah, I think it's just really interesting that just by changing a couple of minor things, you can get a real difference in how your cards look. So there you go. Right, okay. Let me just flip the camera back up. Thank you, everyone. It's very kind of you. So yes, as ever, if you have enjoyed the video, thumbs up's always appreciated. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Judith. Thumbs up's always appreciated. Share onto Pinterest would be lovely. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Candy. If you're watching the replay, you can add comments below the description bar. Jen is taking pictures of 3 cats playing. Thank you, Jackie. So, yes, thank you very much indeed. Thumbs up's always appreciated. If you don't already subscribe, hit that YouTube subscription button and the alert bell, particularly at the moment where I'm doing daily random videos. I know today was a scheduled one, but I will be doing my Top Tip Tuesday later on, so do bear that in mind. Karen says she needs to watch the replay because you came late to the party. Absolutely. But let me just remind you, the patterned paper is from the Tea Boutique, which you wouldn't think that these really, I'm doing it again, wouldn't think that these subtle cards are Tea Boutique. Tea Boutique's got some really bright colours in, like the In colours, for example. But these 2 are from that suite, so, or from that paper. So just as a thing. So thank you very much indeed. I will be back as normal at 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. I will be going live later today for my Top Tip Tuesday. And I will go live at some point every other day this week. If you've got any questions, as I say, leave those in the description bar. I caught up with my comments earlier in the week, or was it over the weekend? So I now just need to keep on top of the ones that are coming in. Thank you very much for those comments. I will post this to my website very soon, and then I'll have a link in the description bar, associated blog post, which will have the measurements, close-up photos, all that good stuff. Thank you very much again. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. This is where I have to find the end screen. Take care and bye-bye.